Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish It on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here once again to talk about the little things. And now, this is my first movie in theaters for 2021, and let me tell you, whoa, that was a disappointment. Wow. Uh, 2 hours of nonsense. Seriously, because I'm disappointed because here's the thing. This movie was made by the guy who made The Founder, which, spoiler alert, The Founder is in my top 10 movies of the decade. So, he's a talented guy. And he also made Saving Mr. Banks. That was a really good movie. Kind of had some parts where it was kind of sappy. But it was really, really good. But then, he does have some bad movies. I did not like The Blind Side. I've never liked it. I saw it as a kid in school. I hated it. It was just a melodrama to me. And then, he made The Highwaymen, which it's funny, I just watched that last night. And I thought, maybe if this movie's bad, then I can always just say like, oh, at least this that movie made up for it. He's a good. It's just I'm just so thrown off by what to say because like last night that movie, The Highwaymen, that was so slow. Nothing happens in The Highwaymen. I mean, it's just so slow. The whole movie just feels like a build up to nothing that never happens. This is the same thing. This movie starts slow and it ends slow, and that's the sad thing. The movie, I would say, the problem is for me is that it was really well directed, but the problem is the script. The script was terrible. The script had so much left to desire, so much room to explore ideas that they did not explore. I was just so confused by like the point of this movie. I love crime movies. I love true crime. And like this movie should have been a home run. I mean, you got Denzel Washington, you got Rami Malek, you got Jared Leto. This movie should have been A+ material. Unfortunately, this movie was bad, and I'm not just saying that to be like a jackass critic. I'm saying that honestly, like in my all honest opinion, this movie was bad. It's basically about you got this new shiny detective and he's a hot shot, he's a golden boy. And then you got and then you got Denzel Washington, and he is this old retired detective, whatever the hell. And he comes back because he's interested in this case because it has similarities to a case that he was in charge of back in the day. And he is basically Rami Malek invites him into the thing because he just he doesn't have any reason to be there aside the fact that Rami wants him to be there to see what's going on and see if he can offer any help. And it started off promising kind of, but it was slow. I was excited. I was like, okay, this is not going to be a boring piece of crap like The Highwaymen. This is going to be something good by the end, hopefully. But then, as it goes on and on and on, and gets to the middle part, it slowed down even more to the point of where I was like, oh my god, this is so boring and slow. And I had to pee. I had to pee real bad, and I was just sitting there like, should I get up? Like, is there anything that's gonna happen the whole movie? Because if I knew that nothing was gonna happen the whole movie, I would have gotten up and went to the bathroom and come back. but then here's the thing. Then Jared Leto comes into the movie, and Jared Leto elevates this movie beyond the very low grade I would have given it beforehand. As soon as Jared Leto comes on, immediately, like, and first we see like just a glimpse of him, and he's just in a back room, but then we see him in full view in a scene, and he is just perfect. I mean, he did such a good job in this movie. I really liked him in this movie. I really liked what he did. I liked Denzel Washington too, kind of. But honestly, by the end of the movie, it literally felt like Denzel was not even trying. I mean, by the end of the movie, it was almost like he had shut off, like a robot. Like, you got a robot, they're at a certain pace, you press a little button on the back, and he shuts off. That's what happened with Denzel by the end of this movie, unfortunately. And that's really too bad, because he's such a good actor. He carries movies that he's in. When he's in a movie, he really just steals the show. Well, in this movie, Jared Leto steals the show. Rami Malek does not do a good job. But that's just because of the bad writing. That's not because of Rami himself. I mean, the writing is just amateur at best. I mean, the killer, he's a MCU quipper. I mean, he just quips and quips, makes references, makes pop culture jokes. But the thing is that he really doesn't have a character. He's creepy. He's hinted at to be having a character, maybe, but there's not really any character ever given to him. But he did such a good job, man. Like, this movie did not deserve Jared Leto. And I don't even like Jared Leto. I mean, did you see him in Suicide Squad? Ugh. But I mean, at one point, and this is another thing, this movie had so much wasted potential. At one point, the killer, the bad guy, Jared Leto, spoiler alert, I mean, it's in the trailer, so. At one point, the killer says that he's a true crime buff. Now, the thing that, it's like, wow, that's actually a good idea, like, because what that did was, it made me think, like, maybe, since he's a fan of true crime, that's like a hint. And it's like, oh, let's look at those other crimes and like compare it to like, true crimes. Let's look at, like John Wayne Gacy, Richard Ramirez, Ed Gein, Paul Bernardo, Herb Baumeister, like, like just the most obscure ones too. And like, and like, you know what I mean? Like, it could have been really interesting and cool. Like, that was such a good idea that just popped up. Like, like that would have been so cool if we had this like killer and basically his entire goal was to become like a celebrity killer. And so he constructs all of his crimes out of true crimes, because he's got like true crime books in his apartment and all that crap. And I'm not spoiling anything too. I mean, the movie, I'm not going to spoil what happens for this part of the review, but I'm just saying, like, a couple, I mean, they show the stuff in the trailer. They show the best stuff in the trailer too. Like, I got to admit, there was one scene that I loved. And that scene was Denzel was following Jared Leto all day. And, I was really excited. The music in this movie was quite good. And I was like, okay, something's going to happen now, finally. I need to go to the bathroom, too. And Denzel follows him onto the highway, and then he passes Jared Leto. And then he goes onto the other side to, like, see where he is, to see if he's still there. And like, they do the switcheroo thing where they keep on switching places. And that was really tense. That was really tense. I loved that part. And then Jared Leto comes around and he talks to him and gives him, and I just felt like I just felt something there because, you know, you got Denzel, and I felt like Denzel was going to become the star of the show in like the third act of the movie maybe, but he doesn't ever. But I felt like this like connection where it's like, uh-oh, you know, you got this evil piece of shit creepy killer, and then you got Denzel, this old withered away detective who has a screw loose. He loses it constantly, and they look at each other in the eye, and it's like, ugh! It's like you know they're gonna, you know, go after each other, and it's gonna be intense and exciting. And this scene is just a taste of what is to come. But no, no. Instead, we're gonna get jerked around for the rest of the movie and just completely bored. I mean, this movie was bad. It was 2 hours of Z, 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 Z. You know what I mean? This whole movie was like nap time. Okay, it's time to take a nap. Put on the movie. Yeah, I'm watching it. Wink, wink. Uh-oh, I fell asleep. Uh-oh, I fell asleep. That's this whole movie. This movie was just such a letdown. Everything about it was a letdown. There wasn't any good twists. There wasn't any good dialogue. There wasn't any good character development. There wasn't any good story arcs. There wasn't a good ending. There wasn't a good beginning. There wasn't good camera work at certain points. It was not good editing. You know, all those little things add up, right? I mean, seriously. This movie was just such a letdown. To rate it in terms of food, I mean, another thing too is, you know, I know I'm being super negative, but it's just how I am. I mean, when I watch a movie and it leaves me with a negative feeling, it makes me negative because it's like, what else am I supposed to feel? Happy? Am I supposed to be like, that was really good, man? Not. You know, it's so anyways, there's this movie called To Catch a Killer, and it is a TV movie from the 90s. It's all about John Wayne Gacy and the last days before he was arrested, when the detectives were closely surveilling him. And this movie was 3 hours long, whereas The Little Things was 2 hours long. Guess which movie was better? To Catch a Killer, yeah, the movie from the 90s that's 3 hours long, and a TV movie to top that. You know, To Catch a Killer is like just an amazing movie, and I watched that this year for the first time too. I think that was another mistake. You know, that movie was this movie, but good. You know, this movie is like if you cut out all the good parts from To Catch a Killer and then just watch the rest. That's what it's like. I mean, and To Catch a Killer, it's like, you know, it's the same type of thing where it becomes this sort of like cat and mouse game where they're watching him, he's toying with them, he's, you know, it's the same type of thing. But in this movie, it's just done so poorly, and there's never any good, satisfying payoff. And in a detective movie, the most important thing is that there's a payoff. Remember in Dirty Harry, the bus sequence where he takes the bus hostage and Dirty Harry chases him and then he ends up shooting him? That was intense, and that was a fantastic payoff to the whole movie, full of awesome scenes. This movie is just, God, it's so bland. So I would rate this movie, you know, I had to stop the video to decide what I would rate it because, you know, the movie is just mind-boggling. Confusing, boring, it's been done already, lots of cliches. I would rate this movie a burger and fries with a shake, a vanilla shake. The fries are Jared Leto, and, you know, usually whenever you get like a burger and fries type of meal someplace, it's always like, you know, the burger's average, the shake is average, but then the fries are really good. the fries represent Jared Leto in his performance, where he saves the movie from being terrible. The burger is Denzel. He carries the movie competently, but he just does not do that great, except for in parts the beginning. He just does not grab you at all. And then the shake would be the story, plot, and ending. Because when you're done with all that stuff, all the character with Jared and Denzel, you want a good ending and story to wash it all down with. A milkshake. And with here we have this vanilla, stupid, boring milkshake. I mean, let's just get to the spoilers. There's this part where Jared Leto, he takes Rami to the middle of nowhere, and he says, "I'm going to show you where the missing girl is." And he basically tells him to start digging in all these different places. And basically, in my opinion, I thought that he was tiring him out so that he could then steal the gun and kill him or something. But he just kind of stood there and sort of just like messed with him and said, "I never did anything. I never killed anyone in my whole life. I don't know what to do." Like, it was just kind of like confusing of like what was going on. And then basically he starts talking about his family and pissing him off, and Rami hits him in the head with the shovel and accidentally kills him. So I guess the twist is that the detective accidentally kills the killer, and I don't care. It was not well done at all. I did not care. I was just kind of like, oh, I thought something good was going to happen. Like, this is the thing that they thought was like, oh, wow, that's going to be a really good twist and shock. No. And then Denzel comes back, and this is where he's like a robot, and he basically helps him destroy all the evidence. Then he gets the keys to his apartment so he can finally find that piece of evidence, which I guess his claim to fame is that he's really good at finding like little evidence things around, like he's able to spot like these little details, like the devil is in the details. So basically the end of the movie is he sends Rami a folder, or an envelope with a beret holder, I guess. And I think, and then he's burning all the evidence, and it shows that in Jared Leto's apartment there was a beret holder pack, and one of the packs was missing, and so I guess he bought another pack and sent that pack to him. I didn't understand that at all. I was like, God, this is so stupid. I'm so irritated. The fact that this is the ending to this movie that was supposed to be like this tense, thrilling, dirty, sleazy, evil movie. It's just like a fizzle of boringness. I was so irritated. I was so mad the fact that I spent 2 hours. I mean, this movie, to sum it all up, as I said in the beginning, this is 2 hours of nonsense. Nonsense. I expected better from this director, and I expect better from him in the future. And that's not me being mean, it's just me being honest. Jared Leto was really good. Denzel was kind of good. Rami was not good. The story was not good. And that's that. Okay? Now take that criticism and make a better movie. Because you know what? I like The Highwaymen more than this piece of crap. I mean, at least The Highwaymen had some good stuff in it. At least it felt like a competent movie. It felt like a movie that, it was well constructed. It was just, it needed to be written better, like this movie. The Founder was perfect. I mean, I don't know how this guy goes from doing The Founder, Saving Mr. Banks, to doing The Highwaymen and The Little Things. I mean, what a drop in quality. So anyways, if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share this video with all your friends and family. You know, do all those little things, okay? Bye, everybody.